Largest wildfires in Texas state's history. Let's discuss. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano and Frank, the Patriot Bald Eagle. If you would like to have coffee with us or whatever beverage you deem necessary, go ahead and hit pause on this video now. Get that together. Have coffee with us. We got some terrifying, devastating news to talk about tonight. The Texas wildfires that's been going on. I know a lot of our viewers have been wanting me to talk about this. I wanted to kind of give it a little while. We had a lot of things we had to get done and discuss, but I've kind of been writing some notes down of everything that's been going on, looking through different articles, and I gotta say, this is just some of the pictures of what's going on here, guys. I'll tell you what, it is crazy. It is crazy. And first, let me send mine, and Jessica wanted me to send her thoughts and prayers out as well for everyone in Texas right now, especially around the panhandle and all of that where this is going on. Some of it has carried into Oklahoma. You know, I mean, it's just devastating. It's terrible news. We have thousands of viewers from Texas. Thousands. And our thoughts and prayers are with you. We hope you are safe, and for everyone in Texas as well. But guys, after looking through several different articles, USA Today has done a pretty daggone good job of putting together what's going on. They have like live feeds of things that are going on with the fire. They have different maps. They showed a comparison of the map of the wildfire near the panhandle, and it is just completely, it's like bigger than Rhode Island. They showed it like what it would be in comparison to Connecticut. Like, here's Connecticut, here's the wildfire. I mean, it would like engulf the entire state of Connecticut. It's so huge. This is just terrible news. Terrible. So we're going to read a little bit from this article from USA Today, just in case you are not caught up on it or unaware of what's going on. We're going to read a little bit about the Smokehouse Creek fire, which has become the largest in state history. From USA Today here, wildfires continue to roar across the Texas Panhandle Thursday, forcing widespread evacuations and causing 2 deaths, as the Smokehouse Creek fire became the largest in state's history. As of Thursday morning, 130 fires were burning across the state, according to the Texas A&M Forest Service. The largest of the blazes, the Smokehouse Creek fire, had consumed 1 million acres, an area larger than the state of Rhode Island, and was just 3% contained by Thursday. 3%. Now, mind you, this, so 1 million acres, I saw, some people were comparing it to like 2,000 miles. It's roughly about 1,700 to maybe 1,800 miles, depending on which way the crow flies, I guess. So it'd be somewhere between 1,700 and 2,000 miles. That is quite a distance. That is huge. Oh, boy. The smokehouse blaze caused a brief here's something. The smokehouse blaze caused a brief shutdown of a nuclear plant earlier in the week. The 687 Reamer fire fed into it after consuming an additional 2,000 acres of land. Now, I have read that it has been contained there and that it is safe. Okay, that was in another article. It may go into that in this as well. The most recent update by USA Today was the map tracker that they have of what's going on in Texas. And what's nice about it is you can click on certain areas, see where all the evacuations are, see where it's spreading, see what's going on, and also the different things. And there's a couple articles on the 2 deaths that had happened, and we will, I know I don't want to, unless I'm reading it here, I don't want to talk about that, just in case family or anything like that are watching. It's all over the news. It's all over Google. You can Google the Texas fires, and it's just everywhere. But again, if they go into that here, maybe we'll go into that. But again, I don't want to talk about that unless we're reading directly from some other site. Okay, so quote, "This is now the largest fire in recorded Texas history," Aaron O'Connell, who is the lead public information officer for Texas A&M Forest Service, said Thursday. So she claims this is the largest fire ever in Texas history. The fire's acreage indicates land within the burn zone. On Tuesday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued a disaster declaration for 60 counties in Texas, and on Wednesday, he directed the Texas Division of Emergency Management to increase its readiness level in response to the fires. Multiple blazes continued to rage Thursday across Texas and passed state lines into Oklahoma. The Windy Fire had burned at least 142,000 acres and was 50% contained, according to the National Wildlife Coordinating Group. And keep in mind, these are different spots. So when they say 3% contained, right, that's speaking to the total, I guess, but these are specific different parts. Okay. The Grapevine Creek Fire was almost 2/3 contained after it tore through 30,000 acres, and the Magenta Fire had burned through an additional 3,300 acres. Officials have confirmed 2 deaths in the Texas fire this week. Cindy Owen was driving in Hemphill County on Tuesday afternoon when she encountered fire or smoke, said Sergeant Chris Ray of the Texas Department of Public Safety. She got out of her truck and flames overtook her. Yeah, from what we understand, she was trying to get away, safety on foot, and it's sad, guys. It really is. A passerby found Owen and called first responders, who took her to a burn unit in Oklahoma. She died Thursday morning, Ray said. The other victim was an 83-year-old woman who was identified by family members as Joyce Blankenship, a former substitute teacher. Her grandson, Lee Quesada, said deputies told his uncle Wednesday they had found Blankenship's remains in her burned home. The number of structures that have been damaged or destroyed isn't yet known though teams are investigating, O'Connor said. And let me tell you, some of the photos that are all over the internet right now on all these different news sites, I saw some on CNN's website, I saw some on different news websites, but a lot of the photos are kind of hard to see, and it's terrible. Let's see. Reduced winds and future rain could help slow the fires. On Thursday, fire activity was minimal, in part because the winds had died down, O'Connor said. Although they may pick up this weekend, some precipitation is forecast this week, which could slow the fire, she said. Quote, our firefighters should be able to make good progress and increase containment over the next couple of days. Okay, just for a second here, I want to say something that I had read off of CNN. Okay, and it was the only website that I had noticed this. I'm sure there's other ones that were talking about it, because it is something that relates to the channel here. Okay, I just want to mention that on CNN's website, they had mentioned 85% of cattle raised, like raising cattle, 85% of cattle raised in Texas is along the panhandle. And as to where that should not be anybody's concern, and I really hate even talking about that, but as we know that a lot of different things, going on with beef and all this stuff, farmers are already struggling. Farmers are struggling to the max. And then we have something like this. This could really devastate a lot of farmers financially. So let's keep them in our thoughts and prayers as well. It remains to be seen how much it will help, talking about the weather, how much it will help before the very warm, dry, and windy conditions return on Friday. The Weather Service reported 1 to 4 inches of snow in parts of the Panhandle on Thursday. Snow? What? But reports of moisture in the area over the fire ranged from a trace to maybe a quarter of an inch, said Douglas Weber, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Amarillo. So yeah, I mean, I guess they do get a little bit of snow from time to time here in northern Texas. This is around the northern part of the state, if you're curious. Let's see. Dangerous conditions could return this weekend. Okay. This weekend, meteorologist John Porter said, as gusty winds, low humidity, and high temperatures are forecast in the southern plains. Okay. Quote, firefighters are going to welcome all of that help from the atmosphere today with the higher levels of moisture and reduced winds as compared to earlier in the week. That period of help is very brief, end quote, Porter said. Quote, grass and brush can dry up very quickly. That's why we're so concerned about the risk for fires to increase once again. According to a report last year by the Texas state climatologist, wildfire risk in the state is projected to increase because of the increased rates of drying and increased fuel load. Intense rains create the conditions for larger than usual scrub grass and brush growth. Then droughts dry the area out, which makes the land more liable to burn. In the Texas Panhandle, where the Smokehouse Creek fire and others are burning, the land is flat, grassy, and brush-filled, giving any fires that do start ample fuel to burn. And then they go into nearby counties evacuated after the heat fuels the fires. And we're kind of going on into things that were relative last week, but still continuing into today. Guys, I'll tell you, this is just devastating news. Devastating. I feel so bad for everyone involved in it. It is absolutely huge. And as you scroll through here, kind of having a little bit of issue, like anytime you're on one of the news sites, all kinds of ads and things like, don't ever click on them. Don't ever click on these ads or anything. I just have to wait sometimes or scroll back because you don't want to click on any of that stuff. Oh, jeez. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Okay. So in the map, they really got a good job of this different of the different maps here. So this one page here, it's, like I said, it's the newest updated page. So if you're watching this today, it's probably the last one that they put up. And it just says Texas. It's USA Today, and it says Texas Fire Map, like weather fire map. Where are the wildfires in Texas right now? Map shows extent of devastation with more than 1 million acres burned. Texas Panhandle is now the largest wildfire in state history. The uncontained blaze forced evacuations from homes and businesses Thursday, a combination of dry conditions, unseasonable, basically repeating what we just talked about. How big is the Smokehouse Creek fire? Okay, so this is the Smokehouse Creek fire at an estimated 1,075,000 acres and probably growing, or roughly 1,700 square miles. The blaze has now topped the 2006 East Amarillo Complex fire to become the largest wildfire in state's history. According to figures released Thursday by the Texas A&M Forest Service, the fire was 3% contained. So this is the updated one, so I guess the total has been 3%, which isn't much. The Pantex plant, a nuclear weapon plant northeast of Amarillo, reopened Wednesday after it was determined that the plant was safe from the burn area. That's what I wanted to read here. I wanted to double check on that. For a size comparison, this is the burn area of the Smokehouse Creek fire would look like compared to the state of Connecticut. It's crazy. Like I showed before, there's Connecticut, there's the wildfire, like in that box. And then it's crazy. It really, you guys should really check this out. Really look at it. It's absolutely crazy looking. And then they have pictures here of neighborhoods that are just leveled, that are just burned, completely burned out. Oh, it's a shame. And we're going to leave it at that, guys. I'll tell you what, it's devastating for Texas. You know, like I said, all of our thoughts and prayers go out to every one of you. I can only imagine going through something like that. You know, we have to play the hand we're dealt sometimes, and it's just terrible the way that goes. You know, I don't. It's anytime something like this happens, you know, we've been, you know, we talk about California wildfires and different things like this, and it's like, man, you know, it's just something that happens, and we just have to make sure that, you know, we're aware that something like this can happen. You know, and I don't know if any amount of preparation. We always talk about being prepared on the channel, stocking up on things, making sure you've got food, stuff like this. I don't know if anything really prepares you for something like this. A prayer comes to mind. Call your family, call your friends, make sure they're safe. And if not, get to them and help them. Death toll at 2. I would not be surprised if this rises. Looking at some of the photos of these neighborhoods, it's still early. It's still early. Any updates that I can bring on this? If any of our viewers are up around this area, make sure you chime in. Make sure you leave comments letting us all know that you're safe. It's terrible. It really is, guys. I don't know. I don't even know. Hopefully I know our firefighters and everyone involved are working as hard as they can night and day to take care of this problem. So again, keep our thoughts and prayers with them as well, because they're the real heroes. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.